Jill Savage back here at the Galen Center. JB and Matt, you can feel the excitement around this USC team. They're looking at a near sellout for tonight's game, and why not? This Trojans team is looking for their 6th straight conference victory for the first time in the same season since 1992. But guys, we know that not everybody in the stands is going to be cheering for the Trojans. Oregon forward Jordan Bell is expecting over 40 friends and family members in attendance tonight. The Long Beach native says that he loves playing here, but he always feels so much pressure when he's here, and he says he feels like he struggles. Now, last year at the Galen Center, he put up 10 points and 4 rebounds, and the year before that, it was 8 and 4, so certainly not bad games, but tonight Bell says that he's just going to try and relax, but the most important thing is to come out victorious, JB.
All right, thank you, Jill. And another LA native, Tyler Dorsey, joins him in the starting lineup for the top 5 Oregon Ducks, already with 21 wins to their credit this season for Dana Altman. Take a look at the rest of the starting 5 for the Ducks. Bell Brooks, Peyton Pritchard, Tyler Dorsey, and Dylan Ennis. They have dominated the rivalry against USC, 13 in a row against these Trojans. Andy Enfield brings Metu Boatwright, and how about Jordan McLaughlin? He needs to break out tonight. He's been slumping a bit, hasn't shot 50% or better from the floor in USC's last 4 games, but it's always a high honor when Dana Altman plays your role on the scout team, which is what Dana did today for McLaughlin.
Amazing that Dana does that. And when I look out there every time and I see the red jersey on Altman, I mean, that just makes me feel good. How many coaches do that in the country? I mean, it's under 5, I'll guarantee you.
Boatwright with a new look as he takes the floor against the Ducks. Chemezi Metu. One of the few teams in the entire country that can match the lineups that Oregon throws at you at all 5 positions. And Saturday Hoops, presented by Wendy's, underway from the Galen Center. Matt Muehlbach, Jill Savage, JB Long.
Well, in the matchup, I'm going to be watching JB from the outset. Will be this Dylan Brooks, Benny Boatwright matchup, and you see it. They go right into Boatwright. He's playing the 4 position, and remember, SC, when they went up to Eugene, did not have Benny, and just obviously a great player, but they didn't have the size at the 4 spot, and you see the post up. Boatwright is such a versatile player. He can score, he can pass, he can shoot the 3, and there's the post up.
Immediate foul on Jordan Bell as Boatwright goes to the line, 86% on the season from the stripe. 8 games with Boatwright on the floor. USC unbeaten, averaging 83 points per game, shooting nearly 50% from the floor when he's been missing, either because of back spasms or that MCL. USC still good, but they do have 4 losses, 5 points fewer per game as well on offense.
Well, and now here's the other side of the court. You got Boatwright on Dylan Brooks, and we talked about it in the open. Dylan Brooks destroyed USC up at Eugene, and you see right there a contest by Boatwright. You're in Eugene there. Elijah Stewart, who's 6'3", 6'4", he's trying to guard Brooks at the 3, and remember that game. Brooks, 9 of 10 in Eugene, 28 points, just torched this a USC team.
So he's already missed as many shots tonight as he did in that entire pre-New Year's game. Part of a 17-game winning streak for Dylan Ennis, who has the basketball now in the Oregon Ducks. Deflection by Metu, so plenty to shoot for Oregon. Dorsey against Melton, and now Brooks coming downhill. Knocked out, stolen by Melton. McLaughlin ahead. Tried to rinse it with the right and came up short. Trojans fall into their zone defensively. Midway point of the shot clock for the Ducks. Bell from the baseline finds Ennis. He too was sharp in the first meeting between these teams, and he has Oregon in the scoring column.
Well, didn't shoot it great in the non-conference. He's at about 50% in conference, so really feeling it. Part of that just coming back and being in the groove now in college basketball this year.
He was defending Lonzo Ball when he hit the 28-footer to help clinch it for the Bruins the other night at Pauley Pavilion. I asked Dylan this morning as he gets a deflection here, has he ever had a player pull on him from that deep? And he said, you know, only like open gym and only when you're so exhausted that you don't really want to get into anything offensively. That wasn't quite Lonzo distance, but he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, and he's the vocal leader of this team. You talk to Dana Altman. He wants a lot more communication on defense, on offense, and that's the guy that provides it. And I think, you knock down 2 shots, you're going to provide it even more. And you see the Ducks now kind of going in this matchup zone, it looks like.
Boatwright, pick and pop. That's his weapon. Defensive rebound, Brooks. He'll bring it himself. Dorsey stops at the line. So Ennis with the only made threes, the only point so far for Oregon. Boatwright crosses over. Went past Bell, who recovers for the board.
Right, and to me, that's him just not being in 100% shape. Didn't have the lift to get that layup.
Oregon settling for the 3. Hasn't quite dialed it in, as dipping inside, Dorsey draws the foul. Metu takes his first personal foul. Dana Altman not pleased with his team's movement on offense in the second half against UCLA, but most of it was at the defensive end, including defensive rebounding, Matt.
Yeah, he was really upset about how they played, how they defended missed shots by UCLA. There actually weren't a lot of missed shots in that second half by UCLA, but part of the problem there with that team was I thought they didn't cover the ball very well. I thought there was a lot of dribble penetration. It wasn't just the defensive rebound, so they need to do much better. A team like USC, to me, actually a lot like UCLA in the way they play and even their personnel.
Uncharacteristic for Oregon. Top 3 in the conference in points allowed, opponent field goal percentage, opponent 3-point field goal percentage. It was an off night against an extremely talented offensive group. So USC got the first hoop, Oregon with the next 7. Joe Matthews is in the contest, his first touch. Melton on the offensive glass. A new shot clock for USC. Boatwright against Brooks. And now Melton moving without the basketball. McLaughlin catching fire. Metu tips it in with the left.
And that possession was really all DeAnthony Melton. The offensive rebound, a 2-guard that is second on this team in rebound, and a freshman at that, and then the nicest dish to McLaughlin that ended up for the putback.
Dorsey takes that handoff. Boatwright switching defensively and a travel.
Yeah, and right away we see an offensive rebound. We just talked about it. Dana Altman not happy with that the other night, and I think
Anfield's group about to embark on a stretch, including tonight, that I don't know that any other schedule in the country can rival. Oregon at UCLA at Arizona. They're the only team in the pack that plays those 3 opponents twice in the unbalanced schedule. Mostly it's just getting over the hump against the Ducks. They have had USC's number. No one, coaching staff or roster, has defeated Oregon on the hardwood. The lob, Metu.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Melton can throw it high enough to get it past Chimezie.
That's right. Well, he made a good decision not trying to dunk it, and I also thought it was smart not trying to bring it down and used his left hand to control it.
And now defends Brooks. Boucher back to the perimeter. Ennis has had the hot hand. Off the heel. Long rebound, Boatwright. Now Metu from the 3-point line goes airborne. It's offensive. Chris Boucher gives up the body to send us to break.
Well, we saw here Metu can just get about anything. We saw that on the open. Melton goes high. Nice finish with the left. We got a good one already.
Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans and USC's remaining schedule, all on Pac-12 networks here. Across town at top 10 UCLA, and then a trip to Tucson. And we'll finish with the Washington schools visiting Los Angeles.
Well, those are 3 incredible games, including tonight. But this, to me, right here, JP, is the key. You look at those 3 games. Those are the ones they have to win. And you think about the RPIs of those other 3 teams. They can't lose those games. It would kill them in seeding or even making the tournament. And the one thing I love about what USC has done this year, they have taken care of business with every team they should beat.
And the Infield's group, an RPI of 29 as it stands. Oregon came into today 11th in the country and a likely 2 seed if the season were to end today, and we formulated our brackets. Brooks gets it from Pritchard. Matthews defending, and that's a foul on Jonah Matthews. Tony Padilla Frank Harvey and Eric Curry are crew, and Chimezi Metu took his second personal foul going into that timeout. He's replaced by Nick Rakocevic in the USC lineup. First foul on Matthews. New 30 for Benson Ennis and the Ducks.
Now they love going into the zone out of the under 16. They run a number of possessions with this zone, see how it works, and if it works, they'll stay with it. If not, they go back to the man.
Dillon Brooks, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. If the season ended today in your eyes, or are you going another direction?
I mean, after Ball's performance the other night, and I realize the wins and losses aren't the same, but it was such an incredible performance. Of course, Brooks up in Eugene against, I would almost say it's equal right now between those two guys.
Boatwright stepping back. The length of Boucher bothered the shot. Here comes Pritchard. And he's got Rakocevic. Thought it was a mismatch. Killed his dribble. Boucher looking to hit at both ends.
And I think that's the guy they feel like they need to get going. Really hasn't got on a streak. We know he can shoot it. We know he can do so many other things as well.
Speaking of doing multiple things and doing them all well, DeAnthony Melton, the freshman from North Hollywood.
Yeah, this guy, Melton, has more in his tool belt than you and me combined, JB, and on our best days. He does everything, and that's the one thing he hasn't really done, really shoot the three. He can shoot the three. He takes good shots during the game. You talk to the coaches, and him and the other freshman, Jonah Matthews, they talk about their IQs. Incredible basketball IQs.
Rakocevic picked up his first foul, closing out on Brooks there. Loose ball rebound to McLaughlin. Shaquan Aaron at this wing with the basketball. A quick heat check. He's been explosive in his last 2 home games. Absolutely destroyed Oregon State here on Thursday night.
Love that shot, by the way. It's a great shot in transition, as you just said. He's been on fire.
A second chance opportunity for Chris Boucher, who will shoot a couple of free throws. And let's send it over to Jill Savage.
JB, one of the things Dana Altman told me he wanted to watch tonight was the distribution of minutes. 5 players played over 28 minutes against UCLA, and he said we had tired legs at the end of that game, and that was on me. So he said he wants to get Boucher and Benson in earlier and more often tonight so he can have some fresh legs at the end of the game and use the TV timeouts a little bit smarter tonight, JB.
That's well said, Jill. It was the first time I've ever watched a Dana Altman team look fatigued.
Yeah.
I mean, they are normally elite conditioned athletes, and I know this group is too, but they were dragging a bit at Pauly.
Well, and I think part of that, obviously UCLA plays fast, and you think about the UCLA comeback, but I think those games, they take a lot out of you emotionally because they're such big games. There's so much that goes into them. And again, they didn't play anyone else. It was 7 guys, 7-man rotation.
Now USC leaves points at the free throw line. Charles Buggs is into the contest, number 1 on the block. 2 fouls on Metu, 2 more on Rakocevic. So Andy Enfield down to his 3rd option at the 5 spot. Aaron starts 0 for 2. Elijah Stewart got a hand on it, so did Melton. It goes over to the Ducks.
Well, and I think this is an interesting lineup for the Ducks because, again, they start with Boucher on the bench. They put Brooks at the 4. Now they bring in the 2 bigs, and they take Brooks out. So it'll be interesting to see here. They have scoring with Dorsey and Boucher. Of course, Bell has scored this year. I think Bell, seeing their handling, that's the one thing he's done a lot better this year.
Having a career year at this end, but Oregon has made just one of its last 8. Turns it over here. Melton against Dorsey. Wow. Wouldn't go, but he's fouled.
Well, we just talked about the jump shot, all the things that he does do, and look at him get into not even the passing lane, the dribbling lane right there. He's got a 6'8" wingspan. He's about 6'4". That and the anticipation enables him to come up with that steal.
His 2nd of the night, and put the first personal foul on Tyler Dorsey. Second coming for Melton. Coming off a 26-point blowout of Oregon State, tied their largest margin of victory in a conference game, Matt, over the last 9 seasons. So whereas Oregon really had to work deep into the night in Westwood, USC cruised to the finish line.
It's a really good point. That happens, you see that with different teams when they're partners on those road trips, and it can be a big difference.
Bell facing up on Bugs. Strips, kept possession, 6 to shoot. Dorsey harassed, finds Ennis. What a catch with one hand. Pushes it back up, but it won't go. And now a frustration foul. Great to see the Galen Center full. It's been the topic of conversation around town that as good as USC has been this season, 21 wins and 25 tries, they have not captured the home court advantage other than the UCLA contest yet this season.
Yeah, it's been interesting trying to get them in, and Andy Enfield's trying to work that. And I think, as you said, the surprising thing to me was such a big win against their rival, UCLA. You would have thought right after that they would really come out in droves, but they're here tonight. I think they recognize, obviously, how big this one is.
Clock malfunction here at the Galen Center, so our officiating crew going to the monitor. Let's take a closer look at DeAnthony Melton and all that he's done in his freshman campaign. Yeah, not your average two-guard.
Yeah, remember, he's a two. Andy's a freshman. I got the jackhammer in the background, so I got to talk loud. Look at that right there. You look at the steals right there, second in the league. You look at assists, 3.6, fourth among freshmen in the Pac-12. Look at that hard hat. And one of two players in the Pac-12 with more steals than turnovers, Matisse Thybulle. And you just think about what he does, that tool belt. He has so many tools in the tool belt. On top of that, Adam Gordon put that beautiful little thing together there. On top of that, we saw the steals there, the assists, second on the team, second in rebounds. How about your two-guard, second in blocks and second in rebounds? That's unheard of right there.
Yeah, part of the reason why USC was able to start 14-0, and then they hit a wall. They lost 4 of 6, but since, Matt, 5 consecutive wins, their first road sweep of the Washington since 2002, first road sweep period of the Andy Enfield era, and tonight they can look to win 6 games in a row in league for the first time since Harold Miner and George Raveling did it here in '92.
Dwayne Cooper was on that team, played against Coop as well. Love George Raveling, played against him, one of my favorite coaches of all time. But you're right, JB, those are big time numbers.
Matthews took the screen, missed the floater. I think mostly it's just about the team across from them and the name across their jersey. For whatever reason, when they match up with the Ducks, it has been ugly. Bell again had it knocked away by Bugs, couldn't recover for the hoop. And who else? Melton there to pull it off the defensive glass.
And USC needs to take advantage here because nothing really going in right now for Oregon. They've gotten some good looks. Balls going in and out on close range shots.
As good as the atmosphere has been, not a lot to cheer about so far. Both teams have only made 3 field goals. USC 3 of 13, the Ducks 3 of 16. Benson extra pass. Boucher gives it back. The lefty 3. Everything but the points. Now he's cutting and give the assist to Bell, who's a bit hobbled.
Yeah, nice cut by Benson, and uses the right hand as a lefty.
Elijah Stewart, so athletic, but comes up empty. Dorsey secures and brings it forward. Steps through, lefty lane. Tyler Dorsey. He had a big game here a year ago. 8 of 11 from the floor, a game-high 19 points. Melton stops and pulls. Dorsey another rebound. I'm just glad the lights haven't gone out yet. Remember when these two teams matched up at the end of last regular season? Like a 25-minute power outage.
Well,
so far so good. It's only dark outside.
That's right.
Next Saturday, it's a 7 o'clock tip. USC and UCLA. Can the Trojans do it? Again, they stifled Lonzo Ball with their zone last time they matched up here at Galen Center. And UCLA is playing a little bit better on offense against the zone, but look at these last 4 meetings, Trojans and Bruins.
Well, you look at 2016, and every game got worse. I mean, that's, to me, the shocking part of that. And then the 8-point win earlier this year. And, you know, that's just, that doesn't happen that often. So Andy Enfield feeling good about that. And, you know, you wonder, JB, I'll ask you the question right now. in these 3 games that SC has, you sort of, if you had to handicap them, I mean, you've got Oregon at home, which is great, but then you go at UCLA, a team you beat 4 times in a row, then you go at Arizona. Out of those 3, what's the one you think you can pick up?
I mean, this should be the one that's stepping through. Bell with the steal off the deflection. Stewart and McLaughlin back, and he's fouled. You know, on your home floor, you think you got the best shot, but because Oregon has their number, and because USC is not intimidated by UCLA at all,
sort of feels
that
like
might be the one.
Yeah.
Stewart picks up his first foul. And Jordan Bell to the free throw line.
And I know there's some talk about Jordan Bell, I mean, and should be talk about him being Defensive Player of the Year, and he's right in there. I'll tell you another thing, he could be most improved. I mean, we haven't had him just because the numbers have not been as big as some guys like Metu and Dusan Ristich and Eubanks at Oregon State, but his numbers and everything he's done, I think, at least the eye test, I think he should be in the top 5 for that conversation.
Leads the conference in field goal percentage, 63 from the floor. Also the only Pac-12 player top 10 in boards, blocks, and steals. To your point. Stewart with 10 to shoot. Against Bell defensively, tried to drop it to Buggs. And again, in case you're just joining us, why is Charles Buggs getting burned here? Well, Metu has 2 fouls, and so does Rakocevic for Andy Enfield.
Well, and this is the one thing he was worried about. You know, you think maybe defense against Oregon. He was worried about USC not being able to score. And these stretches where you go in a drought, and then all of a sudden Oregon goes on an 11-2 run or something, and they just can't score right now.
Other than the shooting, it's been a brilliant game. Both teams sub 30% from the floor. Chris Boucher will fix that.
I've seen that move before. I saw it up in Eugene. I think it may have been against Stanford, but that was so similar, and you could see it coming from the moment he hit the deck.
It was against Stanford because I remember your reaction to it. It was something along the lines of W-O-W.
And finally, USC gets one to go down. Matthews, see if he can start to get hot. They need some scoring right now from someone.
And it breaks an 8-0 burst from the Ducks. I want to get it to Boucher, matched up against Stewart. Pritchard drives and kicks. But Benson tried to give it back. 10 left for the Ducks. Back to Boucher with the right.
Well, and you've got to respect that 3. He had his mind made up. I thought Boatwright, not a great closeout right there, and just the one dribble, and he gets up so high. Just fun to watch him.
Not as impressive as Dylan Brooks the other night, though.
No.
That might have been the dunk of the year in the Pac-12.
Might have been? No, that was the dunk of the year.
Cavell Bigby-Williams checking in. 4 to shoot. Brooks doesn't see it. Pritchard doesn't see it. Shot clock violation off a dead ball. That is unacceptable, but this was completely acceptable.
Well, you look at the jab step. He gave him the jab almost to sort of test it out. I want to see what Goleman's going to do there. And on top of Goleman, that was Ike Anabogu, who's to me one of the best defenders. But I like that first. He just it reminded me of Allen Iverson when he did the crossover on Jordan. He tested it first, and you saw that jab. He tested that, and at first I couldn't tell if it was one or two-handed. It was so quick.
And because he put Ike in the net with it.
He did.
Boatwright jabbing on Brooks, way off. No shot clock reset. Jordan McLaughlin, tough floater, and secured by Bigby-Williams.
Good no call.
Brooks pulls up on Boatwright. Dylan Brooks bottoms.
Well, and there you see the 4 against 4, but Brooks even able to shoot it over Boatwright, and that's off of USC.
When Dylan Brooks gets energized, the entire Ducks roster is lifted.
It really is.
And not as easy to do here at Galen Center as it was, say, against the frenzied environment in Eugene when they trounced Arizona. Dana Altman's trying to capture some of that here and get the road split in LA.
I asked Brooks about that dunk, and he said, I might try to do another one of those tonight. Inside out.
And Dorsey winds up with 12 to shoot. Just not many lanes offensively for either team. It's a good result, though, for Cavell Bigby Williams, the junior by way of London.
Right, and here we see already what Jill was talking about, getting more guys in the game. Bigby Williams did not play a second in that game in Pauley. He comes in and already a nice move and a bucket.
USC has committed turnovers on 3 of their last 5 trips. Part of the reason why the Ducks have scored 12 of the last 14. We'll get our under 8 stoppage next whistle. Boatwright just will not go down at that end. Brooks, lob to Boucher. Boatwright got it. Shaquan Aaron to Boatwright on the move. Metu's back in, but a foul first. Benny Boatwright free throws when we come back to LA.
Well, we see guys come from the back. You see LeBron do it. You see some others. Benny Boatwright with that beautiful block.
Saturday Hoops is presented by Wendy's. By Barbasol. New Barbasol premium disposable razors with close shave technology. Barbasol, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. And by Black Bear Diner. Good old-fashioned family food. Welcome back to USC, where Oregon has a 21-13 lead. The Utah Office of Tourism presents Life Elevated.
Well, 2 of my favorite things is to watch Boucher shoot and dunk. And how loud is this? Good gracious.
Boucher and the Ducks could be up a whole lot more, man. I mean, USC shooting 21% with 5 turnovers. They're lucky that they're still within reach, and Boatwright to the free throw line as we resume with a chance to chip away.
Now, this is a little bit of a repeat from what we saw up in Eugene when they first played. SC not able to make shots. The other problem, SC had 17 turnovers in that game. They have 5 already, so a little bit better in that department.
Boatwright has missed all 5 of his shots from the floor, including 3 three-point attempts. But he's 4 for 4 from the stripe, and at the 7-minute mark, they're still very much connected with Oregon, who jumped out to a 19-point lead over UCLA, only to see it evaporate in a loss on Thursday against the Bruins. Dylan Brooks gets the friendly roll.
Well, and if this game was in Pauley, you would feel like it would already be plus 19 for UCLA. So I think you made a great point. You know, only being down right now by 9 is somewhat fortunate.
Brooks has 7 of those 24 points. Shaquan Aaron in the game to help break the press. No Metu here, saddled with 2 early fouls, as is Rakocevic. So it's Charles Buggs, the 5th-year senior, setting this screen.
They need to get Elijah Stewart on a 3 here.
And Melton with the basketball. Bigby Williams switching on to him. 4 to shoot. Stewart has to go. That's not the 3 they wanted for Stewart, even though I agree with your point. Rebounding foul on Oregon.
Good job by Buggs to gather that. That was not an easy catch and pass right there with the shot clock coming down.
Brooks gets hit with his 2nd foul at the 6:06 mark. So Bell is back, and so is Dylan Ennis. Look at the 3-point attempts for really both teams. Not hot, but USC in particular. 1 for 9.
Well, and one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the league, 4th in the league and 4th in threes made. So they can make them at a high percentage, too.
Dorsey on the runouts off the 6th USC turnover, and Andy Enfield will stop it.
And the turnovers have been bad turnovers already. Right now, you look at points off turnovers, 13 points off turnovers. That should be one that should be pretty easy. You just got to throw it up. You've got a tall 4. I mean, it's almost like the football pass, right? You never keep that short for the interception. You just lead him. At the very worst, if it goes over his head, you can run to the other side of the court and gather it.
So the Ducks have their largest lead. Let's look around the Pac-12 with headlines. Matt Muehlbach. And UCLA, with that win over the Ducks, I think has turned this into a 3-horse instead of a 2-horse conference race.
I agree totally right there. Lonzo Ball, the huge plays. That was maybe the game of the year, except for up in Eugene. And this is big right here. You think of what the Bears could do in Tucson tonight, playing well, the best defense in the conference. And there you got the freshmen right there, all 4 freshmen. I think we can talk about that in a minute. I think that 4 may be down to 3.
Matthews hiding behind the screen. Still just one three-point attempt has gone down for USC. Meanwhile, Dorsey and the Ducks had connected on 7 of their last 8. He fouls McLaughlin.
And that 3, if Dorsey knocks that down, you feel like, man, they could really start to stick it to these guys. But I think, you know, look, the 3 is there, but they've got to get to the rim. They've got to start being more aggressive, and then out of that aggressiveness, throw it back out to the 3, and that'll be a good shot. But this zone has been good for Oregon right now, this little matchup.
We talk about the importance of that Cal-Arizona game, not just for the Ducks who are trying to track down the Wildcats, but USC could get a first-round bye in Vegas.
Yep.
If they get a little bit more from Shaquan Aaron and maybe some help trying to run down the Cal Golden Bears.
Well, good movement there, and again, get it to the rim. Start being aggressive. Start attacking this Oregon matchup.
Pritchard left alone. McLaughlin will let it go out. And it's USC basketball with 5 to play in the first half.
Well, if you move the ball, and you see in the matchup here, they just lost Shaquan Aaron, but makes a great play oversized. You had both of the shot blockers right there. That's a really talented play.
The last 2 home games for Shaquan Aaron, 44 combined points, 9 made threes, including a career-high 5 the other night against the Oregon State Beavers. McLaughlin crossing over. Get it out. Boucher. Oh. They got it behind him with Metu, who couldn't finish. Dorsey on the hit ahead. Circles baseline and is bumps. Both teams in the bonus for the final 440. Matthews didn't like it.
Didn't see much there. Matthews got called for a ticky-tack earlier in this game, and you can see there, a little incredulous.
So his second personal foul, and a 1-on-1 situation for Tyler Dorsey and the Ducks. Elijah Stewart returning. He'll get Matthews, and Pritchard stays at the scorer's table. If Dorsey converts, the shooter will be subbed out.
And now the bonus.
Dorsey gets both, and he'll leave. 7 points for the LA native. And the Ducks continue to pick up full off makes. Andy Enfield pleading for a foul on that entry pass as McLaughlin was wrapped up. The USC point guard is 0 of 4 from the floor. His slump continues. His choice of a couple of high screens. Metu and Boatwrights. Shaquan Aaron gets the 3 from the corner.
And that was such a good look from Metu because Boatwright looked like he might be open, but he made the safe pass, knocked it over the corner, and Shaquan Aaron, you can just tell now, growing up, you know, remember, I mean, he took the whole year off, did not play a lot as a freshman, and you just wonder, starting to get so much more comfortable now with this team.
A 6th Oregon turnover gives it back to USC. Boucher defending. Could not move the feet fast enough. He takes the foul.
Let's see this nice passing. See Metu here, he had the option of Boatwright, but too much traffic. Aaron wide open, and you know, part of the problem with Boatwright out was Aaron had to play a lot of that 4 position. That's not his position. He's a 3, and I think he's going to be much more comfortable in that 3 position and be more productive.
It was Boucher's first personal foul, 7th on the Ducks. Elijah Stewart hit the front end of the 1-and-1. 1 out of 2. McLaughlin tracks it down. Metu down the lane and down the hatch.
Wow, he could have made that more nasty than he wanted to, but he just wanted the 2. I respect that. Didn't want to knock one off the back of the iron. Great energy, crowd into it.
Boucher right back.
Whew.
That silences the crowd after USC got 3, turnover, made free throw, and then the emphatic dunk to get back into it. Metu rolling, and a free throw to follow. Chimezie Metu playing through first half foul trouble.
Well, it was a great move to bring him back in, and this is why you've got to have a center that can come inside and finish like this guy. This time he was fouled, didn't get the dunk, coming back.
USC back within 5, 3:33 to go before our State Farm halftime report with Yammer Time, KO, and Lamar Hurd. Second half keys for our contest and a check on Cal, Arizona. Well, Matt, if you want to beat Oregon, you better be good in zone offense.
Well, you see the zone right here. They have their horns coverage right here, 2 up at the top, and Oregon's going to have that matchup zone. And if we freeze it right here, you can see Oregon's in perfect shape. Man, man, man over here. They've got him covered. But on the pass right here, if we freeze it, what happens is Boucher and Pritchard go to Metu. And now you got one guy covering 2. You see the perfect pass to the corner. I thought Bell did a nice job falling back in the lane so Vinny Boatwright wouldn't get the layup. Great recognition there, I thought, by Metu on the pass.
Shaquan Aaron has one of just 2 made three-pointers for USC. The Trojans 2 of 11 from behind the line. Oregon hardly better, 3 of 11. And Metu at the free throw line as we resume a chance to cap a 3-point play. And he does. Metu is 4 of 5 shooting. The rest of the Trojans 4 of 22. But he has not been able to play big minutes because he took 2 early fouls. Matt, I like what Andy Enfield is doing here, using Bugs to replace him on the defensive end.
I like that too. Offense, defense, bring him in and out. Bugs doing a nice job so far. We were wondering if he would play with the sore knee.
Pritchard from the elbow. He's been quiet in this first half.
That was too early.
Throw ahead Aaron. A good defensive recovery in transition by the Ducks.
Yeah, they get back, don't they? I mean, even against UCLA, a lot of those plays, they were back. It was just UCLA making plays.
Boatwright against Bell. Benny Boatwright and one!
And that is the thing that has really been great about Boatwright. Look at this. You see Jordan Bell, maybe the defensive player of the year. He comes all the way out. Boatwright uses the dribble, and he doesn't just fly by him, but he has such great feel. I thought he would go up on the left side. He uses the right kind of bodies in there against Bell. Big hoop.
Talks the free throw through, and that's the second foul on Bell. He took one on the opening possession of the game. And now his second here, inside of 3 minutes to go before the half. Back to a 1-point ball game. Brooks attacks. Dylan Brooks.
Now that's just the dribble handoff offense where they look for a weakness on each handoff, and Brooks found that weakness right there, got to the rim.
He's got 9 of their 32. And takes McLaughlin here. Elijah Stewart off the Boatwright screen. Gives it back, 8 to shoot. And it's defending. And it's deflecting and saving. Stewart with 2. Aaron gets a new possession. Boatwright catching fire. The Ducks dodge one.
Yeah, that was big. And I think the one thing that hasn't come back yet 100% for Boatwright is the shooting. You can see legs there. That was short. He just didn't have that up towards the rim. Maybe a little winded.
Brooks over the top, tipped out by Eric Curry. Saw Bell, but good help from Frank Harvey there. They get it right. Andy Enfield has the basketball.
Easy call. Yeah, just was. Did he just point the wrong way initially? Was that?
Could have been.
That was all it was, I think.
USC, despite shooting 30%, has to be thrilled. A half a dozen turnovers, and they still have another chance to tie it here before the break.
Well, Oregon's still running that matchup, using a lot of ball screens up top to try to beat it.
McLaughlin, there's his first field goal.
Now, one of the things with the matchup zone is with the regular zone, you try to beat it in the middle or the short corner. With the matchup, you can run man offense. That's what USC is doing.
Brooks in the eye of Aaron. He wanted a foul, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was telling me before the game, just point blank, I'm shooting it really well. And you don't hear a shooter say that often unless they really are. He has a ton of confidence right now behind the line.
The Ducks have led by as many as 11 in this opening half. Aaron stepping back. Loose ball rebound, Elijah Stewart. Shot clock turned off. Ducks can have the last in a 2-point first half.
And that's all set up. USC right now is beating Oregon off the dribble. They're getting what they want. They just haven't been able to hit shots in the first half.
Now Dana has a timeout here if he wants to use it. He will not. 7 to go. And now the shot does stop. I think our shot clock operator was like, he's really not going to use his use it or lose it timeout. I can't remember when that last happened. Normally coaches, because this timeout does not carry over to the second half, will pause to draw something up, but Dana trusting his offense.
And I agree with that. I agree most of the time, especially in the first half. If you're in a good rhythm and you're feeling good, just let them go through it.
Particularly when USC is in the midst of a 16-7 run. Normally you might just settle things down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We'll get the timeout regardless as the clock freezes here. So, talking to Dylan Ennis and getting a drink there in the huddle, just asked him, as one of the newer comers, I know he's been on campus for more than a year now, but having seen a lot of college coaches in his career, now in his third stop, what does he make of Dana Altman? What makes him special? And he says a lot of coaches will try and impose their vision of what you should be on who you are as a player. Dana just focuses day in and day out in making you the best player given your existing skill set.
That's what you hear from those other players too, that he just kind of works them the whole year. It's incredible how what he says seems to sometimes doesn't digest early, November, January, but all of a sudden February, and you've talked about it, JB, how good they have been once the calendar hits Valentine's Day.
5.3 is the final answer on the clock, and Oregon will get a side inbound. Yeah, it's a good reminder. Next week, Valentine's Day, and we'll talk more about what that means for the stretch run. The Oregon Ducks as they look to repeat as Pac-12 champs in our second half.
They go Brooks here, high post. Actually, I think they wanted to see it.
See how USC lines up defensively, and now they'll take it. And since they gave us the time, why don't we just pay this off? The last 3 years, after Valentine's Day, regular season Pac-12 games, Dana Altman's Ducks undefeated. 7-0, 5-0, 5-0.
It's
always be closing, right?
Yeah, ABC, baby. Closers, coffee's for closers is what I remember.
But I think it speaks to, just who he is as a coach, right? That the message eventually gets across. And
it does.
Let's also point this out. It's not like he's had a whole bunch of four-year guys in the program. I mean, he's cobbling this thing together almost anew year after year after year.
Yeah, no question those last couple of years. They just go 1-4 here.
5-second violation after 2 stoppages. The Ducks can't get it in. Turnover number 7 in the opening half, and now USC can tie or take the lead before halftime.
Boy, that was after 2 timeouts, too.
Tony Padilla coming over to tell Andy Enfield he cannot substitute because there's no time off the clock.
No time expired off the clock. Substitutions are not allowed.
Well, I think with 5 seconds, you just give it to McLaughlin, you go 1-4 and let him go to work. I wouldn't even bring a screen up to go ball screen with him unless you want to do it like at half court just to get him moving.
7 different Trojans have scored, but only Shaquan Aaron and Chimezi Metu have multiple made field goals in an off-shooting first half. Nonetheless, here come the Trojans. There's the screen. Here's McLaughlin.
He got fouled.
No whistle, just tipped out with .3.
It looked like he got hammered.
Now, they can't review the foul, but they can review how much time USC deserves for this final inbound.
He got hammered. I mean, he got hit right up on the head, and the shoulder of the ball goes flying. That's a foul.
And that was Roman Sorkin in for defensive purposes. Does not have a foul in the contest, so Dana Allman protecting some of his bigs in foul trouble. Tell me how much time should be there for the Trojans, Matt.
Now, you always use the top of the backboard for the time. You see the foul there, it goes out of bounds. I would say about, right about 1.8.
You got what you wanted in that situation, but now your baseline out of bounds. Who do you want to see catch and shoot?
Boatwright is the obvious because of the size. You can throw it to him, and whoever guards him, you would think he could shoot over him. They don't have Bell. They don't have Bell or Boucher. Now, Big B Williams can certainly block shots, but I think you get something Boatwright. Just throw it up high.
It's Aaron. And Oregon, after leading by as many as 11, a narrow 2-point margin after 20 minutes.
Well, I thought it was the right move there because they had them. They were sleeping on that side in the corner and go to the hot hand.
Send it over to Joe with Andy Enfield.
Coach, not a great shooting half here, but you're only down 2. How are you able to come back and make this one close here at half?
Well, both teams are playing hard with a lot of intensity, so we're defending pretty well, and we made some shots to get back in the game. We just missed a 3 to take the lead, so we have to make open shots in the second half to win.
What's going to be the biggest thing that you harp on it with your guys at half?
Well, they're playing well. We're just not playing great because we're not making shots, so you really can't say anything to them because they're playing very hard right now, and we're doing enough to win the game.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
JB?
And to his point, Jill, 2 of 15 from behind the line. They shoot it at 32% in the opening half, but they're still connected with a top 5 team in the country and one of the contenders for a Pac-12 championship, Oregon and USC, with our State Farm halftime report now. Field's Trojans have scored 80 or more in every game of this 5-game winning streak. Matt Muehlbach, I'm not sure they're going to get there tonight, but here's how their points have been distributed so far.
I love how our truck puts that together right at halftime. Wham, bam, ma'am. There you thank you, man. Points in the paint, 16, which I thought was solid, and that was really what got them back into it. I thought they got to the line. Oregon, not a team that puts teams on the line, and you see the three-pointers. That's because they went 2 of 15 from 3. So not a lot of points there, not a lot in the mid-range. I love the fact that they're taking it to the rim, and I think when you take it to the rim, it opens up that 3. There's better shots, better rhythm. I think those shots will fall second half.
Trojans not named Chimezi Metu shot 23% in that opening session. Oregon not much better. They're at 41 for the game. Still have 2 starters without a made field goal as we resume. Midway point of the shot clock. Dorsey turns it down to put it down. He traveled. Jill Sandvich has an update from the Ducks huddle.
I was able to speak with Dana Altman just a couple moments ago. He said we did a lot of good things in that first half. We made some shots, but we had too many turnovers and gave them some momentum at the end. But then, hey, JB, he looked at me and said, hey, that's a road game.
Yeah, that was their 8th turnover there to begin the half. And let's credit some defense, too. There are a lot of long, athletic players closing out hard. There haven't been many open shots to be had.
Well, he's remembering the other night when they only had 3 turnovers against UCLA, but they don't go for steals like we just saw right there. That's going up.
Metu! Couldn't finish at the top from McLaughlin.
That would have been nice.
There's the 3. Brooks at the other end.
And how about that over Metu right there? He had to get it over the hand. You saw the high arc. Brooks just comes up big so often.
Metu spinning on him here, lost the handle. Elijah Stewart secures. And a travel. Now, speaking of those 3 turnovers and the loss against UCLA, US by a Pac-12 team in 2 full years. The last Pac-12 team to lose a game committing 3 or few turnovers, UCLA in the 07 tournaments against the Florida Gators.
You went deep for that stat right there.
I went to Elias.
That was good.
Brooks missing here. Easy board for Metu. McLaughlin crossing over in transition. Melton had hands on it and gets a new possession.
And that's what I meant at the end of the first half. Again, USC being able to break down these Oregon defenders and get to the lane. They didn't make the shot right there because of the great contest by Jordan Bell, but they've got to be able to cover better, and that was a great move by Elijah Stewart coming in. He's looking maybe for a flagrant foul there.
They're going to say it's not a shooting foul. They say it's a hold on the ground. Let's take another look.
You see him just sneaking in. He was way out. Is it intentional? Probably not. That was the same, really the same look that they gave at the end of the half. Remember when they got the three?
Too easy off the baseline inbound for USC. Metu will have to earn it at the line. That was the third foul, by the way, on Dorsey, so he left in favor of Casey Benson.
Well, and think of the three last out-of-bounds play. We saw the one before the first half, the wide-open Shaquan Aaron, where they didn't cover him on the baseline. This one was the same, or 2 plays ago was the same look, but Elijah Stewart, instead of hanging on the baseline, made the cut. That's what enabled him to get open. And then this time, they spread everyone out and just went right to Metu. And you saw the Oregon players looking at each other, talking. Dana Altman has said the most important thing for this team is communication. Didn't like that non-communication down there.
1 out of 2 for Metu, but on that trip, they get the third foul on Dorsey and the third foul on Bell, who stays in the game, sets that double screen. Now kicks. Ennis back inside. Peyton Pritchard. That's what it took for him to get his first field goal.
I'll tell you what, he's known probably as because he's
Elijah! Up top from J-Mac.
Wow.
This is a hold your thought kind of game.
It is. Happy to lose my thought on that one.
Midway point of the shot clock. Ennis with the basketball.
And there's a buzz right now. Can SC get a stop?
Brooks with 6. McLaughlin defending. Bell with 3. Blocked. Shot clock violation. Double-digit turnovers for Dana Altman's Ducks.
Now you could see him look at him at half court. What a perfect pass. You could see him eyeing him right there. He saw it, but that's the hardest part of that pass. It's a half-court pass to get it on the money. And Stewart was a little off right there. He had jumped, I think, before the pass got there, so he didn't get it at the apex. So a great job by him to knock it in.
Now he lights a 3. Elijah Stewart with 5 points on 2 trips.
Feeling it. We talk about a guy seeing it go through the net and feeling good. Well, when you slam it through the net from half court, you really feel good.
Boatwright tripped up Brooks. First on Benny Boatwright, first of the half on USC. USC back within 1. Closest they've been since the game was tied at 11. In their zone defensively. Great high-low look, but it's swiped away by the Trojans. Bell thought he had a dunk. Instead, Metu to McLaughlin. Bam! First lead since 11-9 for the Trojans. So loud you couldn't hear the whistle away from the ball.
Good night. This crowd into it right there. I thought Bell had the flush, and here's the height. Here's Benny Boatwright coming in right there, able to knock that or swat that away, and then a great decision after the wonderful catch, the pirouette there by Metu on the baseline to throw that back in.
I heard Andy Enfield tell Jill Savage his only halftime adjustment, make more shots. After going 2 of 15 from behind the arc in the first half, they've made back-to-back threes to begin the second. Bell gets an easy one on the inside.
Conference basketball in February. You get great teams on the road here. You've had a loss by Oregon a couple nights before. This makes for incredible basketball.
That was the first hoop for Bell. He's also got double-digit rebounds. Shaquan Aaron with the basketball, single digits on the timer. Wants Metu against Brooks with 5. Metu recovers, did not get the shot off. So both defenses collect shot clock violations in our opening segment of the second half. Saturday Hoops is presented by Wendy's and by Barbasol. New Barbasol premium disposable razors with close shave technology. Barbasol, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. And by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Push button, get mortgage.
We had some fun at halftime. Now, by now, you know about the Student Section Challenge. All 12 student sections are performing an in-game stunt, trying to show that they are the best student section in the conference. The USC students went duck hunting. Now, if you're near my age, this was your childhood. The parachuting ducks from the ceiling was a pretty nice touch, but USC fans have 72 hours to share and retweet this on social media to help the Trojans get recognized at the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas. JB, did you go duck hunting as a child?
Not on the original Nintendo, but Jill, if I'm not mistaken, one of those parachutes got caught on the shot clock. Did Boucher just jump up there and grab it, or how did we get back underway?
Absolutely. They actually had to lower the shot clock down from over where it is now, and they eventually got it out, and everything was fine before Oregon took the court again. So no ducks were hurt.
USC missing the three as we resume. We also saw one of the parachutes on top of the center-hung scoreboard here at the Galen Center. That was from rehearsal yesterday. I'll say this, though. The USC Trojans have not done much duck hunting lately. They have lost 13 straight. Dorsey's trying to keep it that way in this rivalry. 13 in a row matches the Ducks' longest in a Pac-12 rivalry against any league opponent. And it's the second longest active Arizona defeating Stanford for the 15th consecutive meeting earlier this week. Chimezie Metu puts the Trojans back in front.
But, and that's why I think he's the most improved. You never saw him do that last year. That's a foot or so in front of the three-point line. I don't think he has the range yet behind that, but he's become a really good pick-and-pop guy, high-post player.
Dorsey comes to get it, guarded by Matthews. Boucher over the closeout of Benny Boatwright.
Well, as soon as we said he's not shooting it, that was the toughest three he's hit in the last two games that I've seen.
One more thought on the winning streak against USC. The only longer streak of consecutive wins that Oregon has is 15 in a row as USC turns it over against Gonzaga of all opponents. And I mention that because it's not out of the realm of possibility that Dana Altman could meet Mark Few maybe in the regional final. Chance to go to the Final Four.
You could see them hooking up in San Jose and really see that happening.
That streak spans from 1931 to the present, and it doesn't have many modern installments, but
started in 31. That's a good streak.
Old Tolfer's got it going. Midway point, second half. It's a 2-point game. Dorsey. Got it! Well, Tyler Dorsey gets the home roll. He's from LA.
Yeah, and he puts so much backspin on the ball. He really turns it. And that's what enabled that ball to sort of hang up there and get the shooter's roll.
13 points for Dorsey, having another great game at the Galen Center. J-Mac comes to get it. Boatwright against Boucher. Look at all the help defense from the Ducks. Matthews. Elijah Stewart, the putback.
You know, sitting here live watching Benny Boatwright, he's a playmaker. He just makes plays. He can make it off the bounce. He drove it hard that time. That's what enabled that open look and then the dunk, but he is such an effective weapon for them, not only just shooting the ball.
Dorsey pulls up inside the line.
That's a goaltend.
Was it on Bell?
I thought he touched it.
Look at the run by Oregon. 13 of the last 17 over the last 3 minutes. It's a pull back ahead. We'll get you another look at that. Was it or was it not a goaltend? As there's a foul on the floor.
It's on Brooks.
Your reaction was yes?
I thought it was. Now we're sort of on the other side here, so that's in the cylinder. I mean, the question is, does he touch it? To me, it's clearly in the cylinder. I thought he touched it.
Now Bell gets another deflection. Pritchard ahead of the pack. Timeout USC. Also need to point out that Dylan Brooks picked up his 4th personal foul. In his absence, Oregon extending its lead.
All right, guys, about to play the SC Wisdom Challenge.
Well, Jill talked about Oregon playing better defense. Happy with the defense right there, and that's Jordan Bell. Maybe he is the Defensive Player of the Year. Great tip and hands on the ball for the layup.
To courtesy of the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week, Dylan Brooks.
Now, we talked about him imposing his will, the strength, able to take bigger guys because of the quickness there on Boatwright. Now he takes a smaller guy, actually just shoots over him because he really didn't get up in him. And then Melton on this possession, just overpowering. Man, what a player.
Matt, USC grabbed a 4-point lead just outside of 13 minutes on the clock in this second half. Oregon has since rallied to be +7. How have they done it?
Well, it hit a couple threes. We saw the Boucher three. I feel like defensively they've gotten a little more engaged.
If it's too tall for Metu, you know you put it too high.
And they're being aggressive. They're taking it to the rack like we saw right there. They've had that offense where they go 4 out, sort of even 5 out sometimes. They dribble handoff and they just attack the rim.
What's so fun about this matchup, Matt, is there are always 10 players on the floor who can almost play any role, can dribble, pass, shoot. 2 of the most skilled rosters in all of college basketball tonight at the Galen Center.
Well, I was thinking we were watching the Cal-Utah game, I think it was last week, and it felt like a NCAA tournament game. This game feels like a Sweet 16 game almost. You know, it feels like, or at least a second-round game because of what you're talking about, JB, the talent all over the floor.
And not on the floor right now, Dylan Brooks. We mentioned he went to the bench with 4 personal fouls. We'll see when Dana Altman elects to bring him back. Boucher gets the seconds.
Well, careful time right here for USC. They need a bucket.
Benny Boatwright can't deliver. There's Bell cleaning the defensive glass again. A dozen rebounds for Jordan Bell.
And, you know, 8, 6, 8 doesn't seem bad. And I don't know why announcers, we always say 10. It's just sort of arbitrary number, but it feels like if it gets much over 10, it starts to become really tough to come back from that.
Elijah Stewart swats a would-be 3 to send us back to timeout. Pac-12 standings with Arizona and Cal coming down to the wire in Tucson. We've got Oregon just a win back of the Wildcats, and USC trying to climb into the top 4, which would mean a first-round bye in Las Vegas at the league tournament. Back to Pauley Pavilion Thursday night. This is how the lead in the Pac-12 changed hands.
Well, they set it up right here for this. Right here, you can see over there. That was the thing for Brooks. They were trying to get him on an upstream. You can see the dribble handoff. It was a fake, and they were going to get Brooks on the other side, but Isaac Hamilton sticks with Brooks, does a great job. He comes around, and look, he might have a shot here. Let's go back to Eugene. Where was the spot on the court? Right there on that right side. He drains it. Look at him right here. He's almost on the exact spot. Jordan Bell doesn't see him. He flips the ball over to Pritchard. Pritchard makes, a great attempt at it. It would have been nice to see Bell catch that ball in the exact same position and have another look at it.
Dylan Brooks told us today that he feels like all the Ducks feel like they must win out to be able to catch Arizona. They're big Cal fans right now. Meanwhile, USC would probably not mind seeing the Wildcats hand the Golden Bears a loss. Great ball movement. Pritchard could not pay it off. Boucher rising above the rest, but lost the handle. Melton behind the back, on the move, steps through. No, the foul is on the floor.
And I don't even know. I would say continuation. It didn't even seem like continuation to me. It just seemed like he fouled them on the way up. But watch this around the back before he even dribbled it. That's what made it so impressive. Yeah, and that's the one extra step. In college, that's not going to count. So according to the rule, that is a good call. I wish they would change that rule, though.
And Melton earns his second. Arizona has just defeated Cal, by the way, so add another victory to their total. And Bell just took his 4th foul, so they're starting to add up. The foul trouble is for the Oregon Ducks.
So you want to know my other rule change? Thinking about this the other night. You know they go to the monitor inside 2 minutes? Just go inside 1. Why does it have to be 2?
For questions of who touched it last,
Yeah,
for instance?
just do it in 1 minute. Play on, unless it's under 1.
1 minute in overtime, I could get with that. Ennis on the rip through. Dylan Ennis, good take.
Now that's been their offense this latter part of the second half, is just that dribble drive. SC's got to do a better job on ball defense.
The Boatwright hasn't had the three-point touch tonight. Cavell Big B Williams battling for a board. No Brooks, no Bell on the floor for Dana Altman, protecting this lead.
And that was a strong rebound by Big B Williams. He really wrestled it around. It's a good call by you, because we could see that right in front of us. Not an easy touch and catch.
Shaquan Aaron comes over to get Ennis. Nice find. Dorsey lost the handle, goes to the floor, turned it over. A dozen turnovers for the Ducks. Again, they had just 3 in the loss at UCLA. And that's going to get Dylan Brooks back in the game. A fan behind us for USC just reminded Dylan at the scores table, you have 4 fouls, and he gave him a wink.
That was the best wink I've seen all year. That was awesome.
And he's guarding Shaquan Aaron. You might get Aaron a touch here just to see. Metu, that'll work.
And how quick did he jump up? Cavell Big B Williams went for the block, and he barely got in his jump stance, and it was dunked in.
And Metu 6 of 8. He's got 14 points. 6 minutes to go in Los Angeles.
And you think with this zone right here,
Cavell Big B Williams gives it back. Ennis couldn't finish, but Brooks does.
how about Big B Williams, the big man? Not a lot of minutes in that beautiful little touch pass right there on the block.
I like Chris Boucher before him, the National JUCO Player of the Year, perhaps emerging here in February for Coach Altman. Mishandled by Boatwright and Melton. Ennis on the move. Pritchard right back. And they'll opt to run something. Brooks. Oh, bumps.
You know what I like about this Oregon offense? What they didn't do the other night against UCLA, they're continuing to be aggressive with the lead right now. I thought they got a little stagnant. You saw them have a number of possessions late into the shot clock. Here's that other one, the little touch pass right there, the Brooks follow on the miss. Guys trying to block shots. Can't box out then.
Brooks misses the front end, but Melton stepped into the lane for a violation. So they'll line it up again, and Brooks will again shoot the front end of a 1-and-1. 5:21 to go. Let's see if Dylan Brooks can take it back out to double digits. That might be one to circle in terms of the outcome of this game. He doesn't miss many. 73%. 20 points and counting for Dylan Brooks. Double-digit lead for the Ducks. Thumbs up is the call offensively for the Trojans. Elijah Stewart able to save it. Bumped by Boucher as he drove.
No basket. Foul is called on the Ducks. Number 25, Chris Boucher. Third personal.
So Boucher takes his third, just outside of 5 minutes to go. It's the 8th team foul on the Ducks, so another 1-and-1 for Elijah Stewart.
And now the bonus.
Both teams have been solid at the line so far tonight. Dorsey comes to get Cavell Big B Williams, who has given Oregon great minutes.
And DeAnthony Melton on Brooks here. It's a tough matchup. We know how good of a defender he is. He's not as big as Brooks. I think they go right to Brooks.
Ennis attacking Boatwright, lost the dribble. Ennis baseline. Boucher pulled down by McLaughlin. USC can trim the deficit. Boatwright hasn't hit all night. Now he has! Off the mark on his first 6, finally finds it.
Well, how about that back and forth? Boucher has the open 3. They could extend it to 11. He misses, and now it's a 5-point game.
And now the Galen Center is back.
And to shut off his right.
Brooks. Rebound Stewart, USC.
I thought Brooks would take him to the rim there. Kind of out of rhythm on that shot.
Nine left for McLaughlin, knifing through, stripped by Pritchard. Here come the Ducks. Peyton Pritchard in transition. Dorsey can't finish. Boatwright spins off Brooks. He's fouled. Benny Boatwright missed his first 6 3-point attempts, but he's got the Trojans nearly all the way back.
Well, he hit the biggest. We had seen Boucher miss. Boatwright needed this one to bring it back to 5. Timeout.
Audience retention hits. I'm not sure I'm in any mood to do KO any favors.
Yeah.
We got to take care of some housekeeping here. Dylan Brooks was charged with this foul. Boucher was in the area, but instead, Dylan Brooks disqualified.
How is this? He hits him right there on the elbow. He got him on the right elbow. I think that's the right call. And you wonder, KO talked about Jill. You wonder right now with this team. KO's a guy that really loves, at the end of the games, he thinks guys get tired. And so I think this is one of those games where you wonder who is tired, because these guys have been playing hard for close to 40 minutes. Who's got the strength left? We saw Oregon, I think, get tired in that UCLA game the other night. Who's got the strength to finish this off?
They'll have to finish without the 21 points of Dylan Brooks as Benny Boatwright goes to the free throw line. And if he makes the second, he can bring it back to a 1-possession game. Brooks 8 of 14 from the floor tonight, made 3 threes. Both for Boatwright. Dane Altman has Boucher, Bell, Pritchard, Tyler Dorsey, and Dylan Ennis, his 5. 7 in a row for the Trojans to bring it back to a 3-point game.
And you sort of feel like Dorsey is going to make some plays for this Oregon team if they're going to come out of here with a victory.
Ennis dips in. Metu blocked it. 6 left for Oregon. Ducks picking themselves up off the floor.
I like the take by Ennis right here. A lot of traffic inside. Oh, that hit Boucher's hand. That's USC ball. Yeah, well, it isn't USC ball, but it should have been.
Meantime, Ennis able to get up. Bell was very slow, gripping his knee on his way back to his feet. 4 to shoot. Dorsey sees it. Dorsey drills it. You called it, Matt. Tyler Dorsey in crunch time.
Well, he had so many games with Dylan Brooks out, and I thought in the beginning of the year he struggled just a little bit to be the guy, and especially with guys guarding him so tight. Big one there.
Boatwright, extra pass. Stewart got it!
And how many big shots this second half have we seen from both teams?
On the timer. Ennis on the rescreen from Bell. Jordan Bell spins on Metu. Clutch. Timeout, Dana Altman after the main hoop.
Almost looked like he traveled, but it was such a great move, and he did it so quick. Even if he did it, no way would have been called.
Big hoops late at the Galen Center for USC and for Oregon.
Now look at that. That's 3-4 feet behind the line. See this one here. And there was miscommunication. Oregon did not line up with who they had. You could see Elijah Stewart measured. Here's the last one. Look at the patience. A nice spin move right there. I thought Metu did not really challenge that like he could have. But that's the improvement of Jordan Bell. Every part of his game has gotten better.
Metu only has 2 fouls, so he could have gone up stronger. Take a look at our Motel 6. 6th man of the game, Chris Boucher, with 8 points, 3 boards off the Oregon bench. You figure he's going to close this one out with Dylan Brooks disqualified. USC down 5 with the basketball, 2 minutes to go. Starting a gauntlet of the Ducks, the Bruins, and the Wildcats back-to-back in conference play. Their 5-game winning streak in jeopardy. Melton takes 2 screens. Boatwright flashing, Benny Boatwright, no! And snatched down by Ennis. Boatwright took a shot behind the play. Tyler Dorsey straight through.
Tyler Dorsey at home, hitting the 2 biggest shots of the game.
No shot there. USC called time first.
Wow.
19 in this building last year for Dorsey, and his return to LA as a freshman. 19 more tonight, Matt.
Now, Jordan Bell said doesn't really play great when he comes here because of all the family. Well, Tyler Dorsey certainly loves it. Saw Dylan Brooks go out with the foul trouble, then Dorsey with the 2 big triples. This is going to be tough for USC, obviously, to come back with only 1:28 now.
How about no flinch from Dana Altman's Ducks, right? They see a 19-point squandered across town on Thursday. They had 11 points their advantage in the first half tonight. USC rallied to take the lead. It's been all Oregon since. Delta Faucet, touch of the game. Tyler Dorsey, last 2 shots have had all the touch you need.
Now that first one was deep. This one was in transition. I love the momentum right there on the break. Even with the time and score, I like him being aggressive like that. Good for Tyler Dorsey.
Again, with Arizona winning tonight, Oregon has to keep up. They feel like they must win out. They need help. Someone's going to take down the Wildcats. Oregon does not make the return trip to Tucson, but they would have the head-to-head if they end up tied atop the standings.
Oh, that's the 3rd time we have seen an out-of-bounds play that USC has either gotten it stolen or in this time tipped out of bounds.
See if they can create a turnover of their own. 9 turnovers in the half for USC, spoiling their comeback bid. They get it over to Ennis. USC will not foul.
Pritchard is pretty quick and strong with the ball. He broke that pretty easily.
Boy, get the foul to Melton as Ennis lost his footing. 42 feet from the hoop. One and one for Dylan Ennis. He's working on a 10-point night. This is his first trip to the free throw line. Earns a second. Remember, USC got it down to a 1-possession game. They have not scored since. Two big ones for Dylan Ennis. So Dylan Brooks fouled out with Oregon up 5 and 3:28 to go. Now 1 minute left, and they've doubled their lead. Melton, good take. Left it for Metu. Fouled by Ennis.
Now you don't want to put Metu at the line where he's really improved this year at the free throw line. Yeah, this is going to be really a situation. can Oregon take care of the ball? And you like to think if you're Oregon, you like having, the 3 guards out there. I wonder if they even bring in Casey Benson to break this pressure.
Enfield's group, their 5-game winning streak at risk here. Metu connects. They pick up full. Bell gets it into Ennis. They trap. Now Pritchard. Got to watch the violation here. He's got 2 seconds. Turned it over. Thought for a moment Melton might have been the last to hit it. But USC gets the giveaway they needed without sending Oregon to the free throw line.
And Pritchard does a great job handling it and really creating space, but he didn't look up that time and didn't understand the clock coming down. All he needed to do was look up and pass it over the line instead of dribble it.
Trojans need a quick score. Boatwrights. Tip rebound. McLaughlin now. Extra pass. Melton. Won't go. Weak side rebound. Ennis. The throw ahead. Boucher. And Bell has the board, and that should do it.
Now they had 2 pretty good looks at it right there. Actually 2 great looks. I thought Boatwright's look was good, and Melton was right there on the baseline.
And 10 points to go along with 14 rebounds as Bell collects that one.
I think what you're seeing here is just a more experienced team in Oregon right now, being able to close these games out. You talked about earlier, coffees for closers. And to some degree, that's ironic I say that, because SC has been very good in close games, 6-1 in games decided by 5 points or less, and this one actually might be more than that, though.
And started the night by talking about all the friends and family that Jordan Bell has in attendance, the junior from Long Beach. With Oregon's leading scorer disqualified late, Dylan Brooks picked up his 5th foul. Tyler Dorsey and Bell, the LA kids, carry the load late. Back to a 10-point lead. Part of a 9-2 run by Oregon to close this out. Boatwright, no. Ennis saves it. Metu took a swing at Pritchard. I don't think it had ill intentions behind it. Pritchard paid the price, to be certain. This might be more than just bonus free throws.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not even sure if that was. I mean, it's not a play on the ball.
Play is under review.
I mean, that seems like a technical to me.
Metu, USC's leading scorer, he's got 16. Boatwright and Stewart each with 15 in a supporting role. Look at the mark on Pritchard.
Yeah. And I guess, to me, the question is just whether it's...
You come to LA, you check out the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and you see all the handprints.
Yeah,
he just got one from Chimezi Metu to take back to Eugene.
Right, it's really just a slap. Well, see there. Okay, so he was going for the ball when he had the hand. When he first puts his hand up, he's trying to hit the ball. But I think by the time Pritchard brings the ball down low, he just hits him on the back. I mean, that's, to me, intentional. And look, he's jawing at him right there. He's mad at something. I don't know what it was, but I think something happened before that, JB. I mean, that's going to be a technical. I think it's just a question whether it's going to be the excessive variety.
See if they upgrade it to a flagrant 2. Tony Padilla, Frank Harvey III, Eric Curry, our crew consulting. A formality at this point, as Oregon is going to get the LA split, and they'll go home to host the Mountain School starting next Thursday night against Utah. Flagrant 1 foul, as I'm reading lips from Tony Padilla.
And I think that's the right call when you look at it and all the facts consider, I think that's a good call. And again, JB, this is my new rule. Only look at the monitor after 1 minute, or under 1 minute.
So Pritchard will make his first appearance at the free throw line to put the finishing touches on what will be Oregon's 22nd win. They'll go to 11-2 in Pac-12 play. A 1-on-2 for Pritchard. Matthews replaces Metu. He and the Trojans last scored with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to make it a 3-point game.
Well, credit Oregon's defense. Credit them coming back from that tough loss on Thursday. This is, I think, why people like Oregon to really make a run in the tournament. Just the toughness of this team, the balance, playing on the road here.
Dylan Brooks leading the way in the scoring column again with 21, but as he fouled out, Tyler Dorsey stepped up with 2 clutch threes. Dorsey finishes with 19 points. And the Oregon Ducks notched their 14th consecutive win over USC. Only Arizona's winning streak against Stanford, 15 measures longer among Pac-12 opponents. And now they'll put their 40-game home winning streak, longest in the nation, on the line as they go home to host the Run and Use. For Matt Muehlbach and our producer Michael Molinari, our director Scott Barkey, and Doug Mann, I'm JB Long. Good night from Los Angeles. Saturday Hoops presented by Wendy's. Now we'll send you up the coast to Mike Yam and our studio team. Good night, everyone, from the Galen Center.